Hello, hello. Hello. Welcome to the stream. So, what's happening? You will see that I have something completely different in my hands. Um, yeah, there's reasons, of course. You know, many of you have seen by now the CAD renderings um, of the exterior of the Audi. And you have seen that we use the Land Rover wheels. So with those wheels, everything changes because now most of the hub can be inside of the wheel instead of outside of the wheel. So uh, we took the opportunity, of course, to completely redesign everything. Of course. So whatever we had before doesn't exist. We start from scratch, basically. There's several reasons for this, and what I have here in my hand is just an idea that I came up with on Wednesday. Some of this we're gonna use. The top mount probably not because it's too large. Or, there's another possibility. Maybe we decide that we flip this around and that this is gonna be in the back. Then it's gonna be lower, and then we could use this. We are gonna test both setups here because I'm interested which one is best. So uh, this here will it may look weird, but I have done some research, and modern rally cars use exactly this setup. So basically, the spring is mounted in front of the CV. Uh, they don't use the double the two links on the bottom, but we have to use them because we have no ability to place a pivot point further out to the wheel hub than where the CV joint is. So we have to use this. Um, yeah, just a second. Just a second. Um, right. Um, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna build a second version of this, where the spring is on this side here, and we're gonna test it and see if this is better or the other is better. And of course here, if we use this setup here, then we have to use a different top mount than the turntable, sadly, but this isn't the optimal way anyway. Um, Simply because we don't want a power budge in the hood. We want things here to be as low as possible. And, it was decided by me that we, sadly, we have to use this part here as the mounting point. Otherwise, it's just not reasonably possible to fix the spring in place because there's no room inside of the wheel. We could use various other methods in the old setup, but that was external. Here, if we put the rim on, see, everything is inside the rim. There's no, only the spring is outside, and that's the big difference. See, only the spring is outside of the rim, everything else is internal. uh, it makes for much cleaner setup. Of course, this weighs a lot less than what we had there. um, the wheel hub is more compact, and this is a very sturdy wheel hub as well. So it's gonna, it's gonna withstand all the abuse we can put on it. So yes, this is good. We have caster. It's slightly larger. I mean, the angle of the spring here is not the real caster. The real caster, if we look at it, would be, see the between difference between the top mounting point of the spring, so the rotation of the turntable, and the center of the wheel. So it's not that dramatic, but it's there. But I've seen this on pictures of rally cars, that the spring is mounted like this. There must be a reason. So I figured, and I mean, this is okay. The top mount here, if this setup turns out to be the winning one, will be this here. So instead of the turntable, we're gonna just use this. Not my favorite one, but one of my role models on YouTube said, "You gotta piss with the cock you got." So this is too big, and we have to use something else. Now let's do a second version of this where the spring is on the other side and test it and see. So this clearly works. I don't know if the pivot point is where it should be, but this is gonna be adjusted, with these. What I'm interested in here is, if when the spring is compressed, so when suspension travel happens, what happens? Does something twist? Is the reaction time of this okay? Does it twist too much, or I don't know. Like this, for example. I don't know. This can be improved because this is just a prototype, but you gotta start somewhere. But this is a lot more elegant than what we had before. And see, it is moving inside, and we have room to still correct this. I don't know. I'm sure there can be some things done to make this better. I hope, you know. Creative Technique Workshop. Yes, they are, but we cannot use them. Simply because there's absolutely no room for them here. We don't have the space. Everything is really tiny. It's a 1 to 10 scale car, and what can you do? Okay, let's build a second version, and then if the second version is better or worse, then we scrap one of them and we focus on improving this one, because this is not okay. This is not okay, but we'll see. And since this is very simple, it's easy to replicate. So let's do this. Okay. Um, you know, in the ideal case, we would make this a lot beefier, but there's no room. And if there's no room, you can do just this. But you know, everybody is working with the same limitations here in this competition, whatever we are applying for. So you know, I don't know. Um, yeah, of course, this has to be on the opposite side. So opposite side, of course. And now let's change this and see if this one's better or worse. And now you can see, come on, yeah, now you can see why we're doing this in the first place, because the spring here, see how much lower the spring is gonna be. Yeah, we had it fully extended. The spring is gonna be so much lower. And the idea is, of course, to, if we can, use the turntable. Of course. And we hit our first roadblock, because the turntable, I mean the turntable, not the turntable, but this guy here is preventing us from fully turning. In, of course, the fully extended situation, and in every other situation as well. So okay, let's see if this is better. No, it's not better. This is very awkward, Phil. Yeah. Okay, so I had to get this out of my system. So this doesn't work. This is worse. Where was my other mounting setup? I had it in front of me. I'm not that old. Here it is. So this is just an exercise. Yeah. So, but yeah, I can bring it down. I can bring it down more. Okay. Okay, that's very extreme. This is very extreme. Where is it binding? Okay, that's not good. That's not good. Probably we should use something like this. Yeah, to lower it even further. By the way, I haven't even thought about this. Maybe we can have this lowered. Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be perfect. Sorry, my logic is flawed. Yeah, we're gonna do it like this. Perfect. Yeah. It's gonna be the same height, but better. It shouldn't bind this much. Okay, that it creates another problem that I haven't anticipated. Yeah. Anybody see the problem? So now basically the pivot should be like on top of the spring, but we pushed it even further in, which is not good. So yeah, making a proper top mount is gonna be a challenge. Or is it? No. Since we're gonna do it like this, what did we have before? So we had just this. This was, it was low, yeah. Low and cheap. That was the primary well, selling point. I should say selling point, but this was very good, this setup. Come on. Okay. So one of the problems with this setup is that we have this is bending downwards, which is not good because it's obviously under stress. Shouldn't be. And I would prefer if, this part here in front, if we had this like straight. So when the steering is neutral, this should be like in a straight line, because this is going to make steering and CV joint alignment a lot easier. And I mean a lot. But for this, we have to, we have to do some changes here. Like for example, now we have to move this one. And once we've done this, then we can see about the CV joint. What is this? Okay. Okay, this, I'm not happy because you see, this is bending. It's bending when the springs are compressed, it's gonna bend even more when we have a stiffer spring here. The good part is that we have 1 and 5 is 6 and 2 is 8. So in this setup we have like 8 studs of, no, 9. Oh shit. Yeah. So we're too high, of course, but we can do this. We can do this, of course. And then yeah, then we're fine. So yeah, imagine this from here to here. This is the amount of studs we have available to build the height of the car. So that's the hood height from bottom of the car. So this is the lowest point in the car to the highest point of the hood. I don't know, Christian. I think this is gonna bend this even more, but yeah, that's yeah, that's a good suggestion. Let's try this. So Christian suggested that we do the following, which I do not like, but but he suggested we do this, and then we somehow use this in a way, I don't know, like this, for example. Yeah. Where does it need to be? Come on. Wow. Okay, out here. No. This is too much. Mm. 1, 2. Yeah. Okay. Come on. Oh. I know that the spring is under an angle. I know. Yeah, that's not gonna fly. Not like this. What can we change? This needs movement here. So this guy and this guy have to be lower. Yeah, okay. Basically, this is gonna happen. Keep in mind, this is just prototyping. One step lower. This needs to be even lower. What? Wait. Okay, this works. Okay, let's see. Let's see. So the caster is a lot, so we can make it less caster. We have too much caster, I think we can make it less. I'm gonna bring this forward, and then I can take this one step backward. Okay. So we still have a lot of caster. Still, you have to consider the caster is from the ball here up to the it goes through through this like that. That's the caster. So it's pretty okay. And this is all a lot less extreme than it was before. But as you can see, nope. The spring is very likely to bind, I think. Okay. What about camber? What about camber? Let's see. Camber. Well, first of all, it's too high. We need to lower this one step even further, because at full compression, it's compressing too much. So we have to drop this one step further down. Yeah, so we mount this from the bottom. Then it's gonna be fine. We are not allowed to use lube. I would modify parts, and if we would be allowed to modify parts, this would be completely different. But you know, we cannot use modified parts, so we're not. Okay, yeah, that's more like it. Now you see, in this situation, it's gonna be a bind. But this can be solved. This can be solved, and you know, this is not supposed to happen. But this too can be solved. You know, we can insert something in here, or maybe not. Yeah, so this is absolutely not ideal, because in an event, you know, that we have, for example, a violent landing. Yeah, a violent landing of the car. Everything here is gonna pop out. And these are soft springs, you know. So if we use the harder springs that we have in the chassis that's still built, you know, it's not dismantled. It's just there, sitting, waiting for, you know, action. Yeah. Now I know why this is binding. See, it's this ball joint here. See, you see how this is basically bent downwards. It's because of this ball joint. It's tilted too much. See, and it's tilted in a way that it's really begging to pop out. So we have to rethink this a little bit. So if this ball joint was mounted differently, then this would be okay. But how would we mount this ball joint differently? Okay. Where is the other one? Okay, here. So let's, you know, this is mirrored, but doesn't matter. So this ball joint is okay. This ball joint, the problem is, of course, the angle of the whole thing in relation to this. Let me just mute my phone. So, what we could do potentially without changing this is we could move the ball joint here on top. So this would of course make a lot of things easier, but may not allow us to might not allow the movement of this. So the only way to check is to do it. So we would have the ball joint here on top, like that. And then of course we have to now build everything and see if it checks out. But I think it will. I think it will. Should. Should. This one has to be, now that we have the opportunity, it has to be higher up, right? Yeah, as high as we can make it. And we can make it onto this level. Okay. So we omit this entirely. No, this is not the rear suspension. We are still working on the front suspension. Imagine that. We are still making the... What version is this now? I don't know. I lost track. It's the 5th or something version of this. Hopefully the final version. But, you know, like an idiot. Like an idiot. Like this. Especially I wanted to do this. Okay. Now we can mount this somewhere here. We can mount it. Come on. This is as high as it goes. Let's see. Okay, this is solvable. This is no problem. 1, 2. Okay. Okay. This is by no means anything final. This is just, you know, I need some geometry here, and this is this is pretty stable, much better than before, and even this is moving still. Once this is Ooh, ooh, nice. When this is not moving, this is extremely stiff. Now the problem, of course, is that this is also under an angle, but that's solvable by, of course, moving this and having this sit a little bit higher, or maybe we can have, probably we could reduce the caster a little bit still, maybe. Okay. Okay, this is still under an extreme angle. So 5 and 2. So if we assume that this is the just under the hood, we can lower this a little bit, or we can raise this basically to make the angles. Yeah, we can raise this for the angles to be less extreme. Come on. Okay. Okay, now the angle here is it's pretty much what we have on the other chassis, so that's okay. um, okay, so only thing that we have to solve now before we start attaching the drive shaft is that this front link has to be parallel, of course. So of course the rear one has to move a little bit. Now that we have this figured out, the rear one has to move a little bit to the front. Half a stud. Half a stud, no? Yeah, half a stud, of course. But that's for the testing purposes that we have here. That's not going to be a problem. It's going to be it may be a problem later. Right now I'm gonna use this and this. Because right now I care just about finding out if the geometry is right. And if it isn't, we need to change it. So this is bringing us exactly half a stud closer, and now this is parallel. We still we're hitting this. Okay. That's not unexpected, of course. We are hitting this. Is this a problem? Maybe, yeah. I think this is more of a problem. Let's change this. Let's change this. Okay, this is no longer in the way. Oh, nice, nice. Look at how little. I mean, can we? Yeah, it moves in and out a little bit. Yeah, that's to be expected. So, which one needs to be bigger? Okay, okay. So, what? Okay, we are hitting here. We are already hitting the limit of the ball joint with this. Let's see. Let's see what the angles are on the other one. Maybe I forgot. I probably expected more. The angles here are pretty good. Let's compare. But I mean, first we need to solve. First, before we compare, we have to solve this here hitting this for a fair comparison. Otherwise, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so let's re-engineer this part here. Yep. So this thing is coming apart and it's going to be replaced. That's it. God, I'm so horrible. Yeah, it was like this. Okay. That's sorted. This guy has to be here. Here. Okay. Mm. Um. Typical. Yeah. Yay! Okay. Now this can turn as much as it likes. And did I make the cursor too small? Maybe. Maybe. No, this has to be one step further back. Yeah, like that. Okay, suddenly it doesn't look that bad. It looks pretty comparable to our old setup. Have quite a bit of movement possible, so this should be okay. I'm still not happy with this. Still not happy with the top mount. This is very sketchy. This is gonna spring out at any moment. I don't know. This is literally begging for to be ejected. Or is it just me? Literally, I mean, I can see it. So caster, okay, it's not bad. Not a bad caster. Yeah, if we go like this, it's not bad. You know, pretty right. Not extreme. Again, you didn't miss anything, so just so okay, yeah, the camber gain is like it should be. That's okay. So we have solved many problems. Now the only real issue here because this is manageable. We can do something with this eventually. The only issue remaining now is this. See, and even this here is basically, it's caused by the axle here being, well, a torsion spring. It's a torsion bar. Exactly what we do not want in this very case. So you see, the spring here is mounted to the hub via this axle, and there's room, at least the way I see it here at the moment, there's room to mount it only here at the very back, basically to allow us to have this kind of angle. Because if we don't have this kind of angle, see how this is tilted a little bit. If we don't have this kind of angle, the spring hits, well, not the rim, but it's gonna hit the tire. And that's not something we want. If we, for example, make a version of this without the angle, just for educational purposes, yeah, let's take this, and we can take, I don't know, yeah, let's take this and this, doesn't matter, it's not gonna bend anyway. Okay, so let's take these two examples. So see, one of them is at an angle, one of them isn't. And this one doesn't hit the tire or the rim, this one does. There, it's scraping on the rim already, and the tire is a little bit more than this. So it's just a tiny little bit too close in order for this to be okay. Otherwise, I would love to have this, because this is a lot more sturdy. This is a lot sturdier for a reason. Now, if we found a way to have this angle here and this be well, sturdier, that would be great. Of course, we have, this is happening as well. And of course this, because this we have basically a 4-stud long torsional spring here, torsion bar suspension on top of this. And that's the problem. If this here was here, there would be no problem. But we can't, because such a part that would allow this doesn't exist. Which is a bummer. But I guess that we can inhibit this a little bit by putting something in here. So maybe if we would for example, this bar here, then we would have something that's gonna push this away. like for example this, maybe. Is this enough? Is this not this is not enough? Maybe this is going to be enough. This is already much better. So before, you know, with this in place, this doesn't move. Without this in place, this moves. So this is already a big difference. Yeah, like this. See, this is already a big difference. Much sturdier. Now, this is when the wheel pushes in, which is in most cases, you know. But sometimes when you are at an angle when steering, the opposite may also happen here. However, I see that this part here is also preventing this from sludging, or am I just stupid? Well, I'm probably just stupid. But before, I think it's not that bad. It's not, the effect is not that bad. Could we do something here to fix this in place a little bit better? I wonder. Well, for now I'm not, I guess. But this small improvement here made a huge difference. See, now when I'm doing this, focus, thank you. Now this doesn't budge. I remove this. Of course, this the last part that lets go is that. And now when I do this happens. So that's cool. That's great. That this tiny thing solved everything. Very good. Yeah, I think that's it. The major problems here with this are taken care of. Yeah, this even feels a lot better when compressing because this is not budging anymore. Very good. Still, see, in the opposite direction it's still happening, even though this is not. This is a problem in corners, of course. Most of the time it's gonna be, you know, compressed like this. But yeah, I think this is not gonna be a problem. This is because, you know, because of the camber and everything, the wheel is always gonna provide pressure here inwards, and that's gonna be okay. So with this done, the next well, set of issues, let's say. Now, theoretically, what Ben calculated is that we would have enough room here for the differential to be, instead of longitudinal, it would be turned 90 degree, and we would have normal drive shafts like we were used to. instead of the geared ones that we have. I think we should stay with the geared ones because we need these here to be able to slide in and out because of the geometry. And if we had them sliding, I don't think there's gonna be room for this to happen. And if there's room, then the axles that are in the differential are gonna pop out of the differential. So I would stay with the setup that we have now. It's gonna be just wider. So 2 studs wider, which means that the differential can be lowered, which is good. And then we are gonna have a lot more room on top of the differential for steering and everything else, which is good. So let's see what the width should be and how this relates to what we have here. For this, I need to put the rim on. Okay. So, let me eyeball this a little bit and make sure that you see what I see. Let's see. So there is not enough room, to be honest. But we have to consider the mounting points. Yeah. So, yeah, the mounting point of the front suspension here is going to be at exactly the same point as it is in the current setup. But there will be more room for the CV joints because the CV joint here is 1 stud closer to the outside because of the wheel setup. But because, of course, here we have the ball joint further out, the width here stays the same. So basically everything here moved out 1 stud. So imagine this part here. Come on, focus, please. Can you focus? Camera, hey, focus, please. Will you? What? Why is this not focusing? Focus, come on. Focus on what I'm. Okay, now we're focused. Yeah, so everything is moved a little bit out, except even the rim here is gonna be very slightly further out, but that's okay because we were undersized here anyway. We were half a stud narrower than we needed to be, so that's okay. And you can see that the strut mounts here are gonna be 1 stud further out as well in this setup. So this gives us a lot more room to build the chassis here, and the struts themselves, I think, move. Yeah, they move a lot less than these did. So that's gonna be cool. And then, this part here, we can get rid of this because this is too high, and this is gonna be just high enough so that the hood, you've seen the design that Christian did, so that the hood goes over this, and the car is gonna look the way it should. Yeah. Now the only thing that we have to do is completely redesign the gearbox here and the steering, and basically everything that we have here is gonna be completely redesigned. Yeah. Who saw that coming? I don't know. So one good thing about this being wider is that we can use these. Somehow I like these better because one of the gears can be the two stud wide, a two stud thick one, I think. Or can we? Because no, we can't, because we have to allow the sliding stuff, and since we are basically moving these one stud further out, and then the sliding part needs to remain, so we can't do this. Now, okay, so we are keeping these then, and let's make a dummy version of what we have. Okay, so this is one of the inputs. Now, since we are gonna have the following setup, this is the differential gear, and the differential gear is now gonna be in the middle. So before we had it up like this, because we basically used we used this, and then the differential was up here. So now that it's gonna be lowered, we are gonna go 7 wide, and the differential is gonna be here. So obviously the frame, we cannot use the frame because we need the central hole here. And if we use a 7 stud lift arm as a example of what we're gonna do, yes, we have the space for a normal oriented differential, but we are not gonna use one. So, which gears do mesh here? I think these. Yeah, not gonna do this single-handedly. Yeah. Okay, so these mesh. Right. That's good. That's good. Okay. That's good. Now the problem we are gonna face here is how do we do this? Because if we have just this lift arm and we have these 3 dudes here, so I'm just imagine. Come on. So this is the differential. This is the one of the outputs, and here's another one. Just imagine it. How do we mount this 7 stud lift arm? Where to? There's nothing to mount it to. So we have to manufacture some sort of very interesting bracket here to allow us to do this. Otherwise, we are not mounting anything. And this is gonna sit here, of course. Yeah. Let me remove this one because it's never gonna allow me to mount this. We're gonna have to move this one stud further back. So we have to engineer this mount as well. It cannot be like this. So this mount is gonna be what, 7 stud wide as well? No, this can be 9 studs wide. 9 studs wide. I wonder what, you know, we will have to go with something like this for the suspension mount, because we don't want anything here. It needs to provide us room. So we're gonna go with something like this, just behind here. Okay, good to know. Still, the problem remains, how do we mount this? The easiest thing would be, of course, to say, okay, we take an axle and mount, you know, connectors on it, but you forget that we are gonna have a lot of force going through this. Right now we had these, and these were perfect. These were perfect. We have this. This is too big. So we have to engineer something out of some parts that we have lying around that are gonna provide us this. I don't know. Maybe there is an application for these as well. Or after all, basically. I have 2 more here. They went. Oh, I know where they are. Okay, never mind. So many things need to be put together. One of them is that we have the mount for the suspension to take care of as well, which is gonna be mounted to this. See, this guy is gonna be mounted to this as well. Somehow. Yeah, this is not gonna succeed because of the gear here, and here we don't have a lot of room in this manner as well. Wow, that's gonna be quite a challenge. Quite a challenge. 3. Okay. Theoretically, this is better than the previous version. Practically, it creates more problems than it solves. Yeah. It creates more problems than it solves. Unless we really think out of the box. If we look at this, we need bracket here already to mount our suspension link, which is going to be here. Just, so that you can imagine. Suspension link is going to be here. Hey Naveen. Yeah, we're still doing a McPherson. Now we are doing the differential case. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. How much room do we have here before this hits? Enough. Okay. Okay, that's gonna be tight, but solvable. So this is the suspension that we have, of course, at the moment. We'll see. This, I like it. It's as simple as it gets. Okay, but this is not. This has become a lot more complicated than I wanted. I mean, there are scenarios where we maybe can win. No, I don't have a Unimog spring anymore. It's a softer spring, but the body is Unimog. But it's the same. Damn it. No, that idea died as quickly as it came up. Okay. I mean, I thought that if we use this but I forgot that there's no way to mount pins here. Yeah. Damn it. The problem is the differential, because it's a big gear. I mean, any gear, no matter which differential gear we're talking about, is gonna be a problem. So, but we are using this differential. So with the big 28 tooth gear. But yeah, how do we do this? We need to have a ball joint mount here. We need to make sure that this is stiff and doesn't fall apart when we hit it with some torque. And we have to have clearance for everything. So here already is the differential gear, and we have this here. Oh my. This is not an easy task. And of course, this has to swing up and down. And this has to swing up and down. No? It was so easy before. Okay, I'm getting a few ideas. Let me think. Let me think. Just a second. There is a scenario where we could win. Mhm. Let me think. Mhm. Okay, that's a possibility. Yeah, no, okay. Um, no, it has to be like this, yeah. This has to be like this. This has to be like this. Damn it. Damn it. The problem is that this has to be stiff. The good part about doing this is that it's gonna be low and it's gonna be really compact once it's done. But before it's done, it's gonna be a pain. And at this point, yeah. I mean, the good part that it's low is also that we can run we can put another 28 tooth gear on top of the differential, which we cannot in the other setup, and run it 1 to 1. No, so when the power comes from the engine or from the motor, we can run it 1 to 1. Now we have it 16 tooth to 28 tooth. So that's quite a reduction. But we want speed as well, and the motors are powerful enough to to not care about this. Hey Marco, so we have to engineer something out of this. just don't see any good option here for us. How far up does this go? What kind of a problem is this gonna be? Let me quickly check something. Something very important. This checks out, then we are on the right path. Okay, so imagine this, so that this is still. How big of a problem is this? Only in the very extreme of extremes, when we jump, for example. But even then, this is not going to be a problem, because this has enough room. Bends a little bit, and you know, I'm compressing the spring to the fullest. Yeah, because this is gonna give us options that we wouldn't have otherwise. Okay, good. Bummer. Oh yeah, we need to do this other way. What a shame. What a shame. It would be so good. No, wait. What am I doing? What am I doing? This is correct. so let's imagine. I can now place this one on this side if necessary, you know, just because this, you know, this can jump and twist and whatever. But this is gonna be a bracket that's gonna hold the gearbox already. Okay. So, and here on top, I guess we can start building, I don't know, stuff, I guess. There. So, and here, of course, we then place, I don't know, things like this. For example. And we have all of this room free that we didn't have before. See? There. Is this gonna be okay? No, I think this is too much. This is gonna hit. Okay, so strike that. So we still need a way of to attach something to this. So before we had the frames, you know, and the frames allowed us to make a structure. But here we are in a pickle, kind of. We can't mount a frame because it doesn't match anything here. Ideally, the frame would be on top here, you know, but it can't anywhere. When we have this guy in, we have the next problem, that there's nothing that we can do to make the connection here. No, there's nothing that we can do to basically to connect this frame here to the one behind it. So that's a bummer. So what I'm thinking here is, what if we make a hybrid? Oh yeah, okay. If we make a hybrid between this and the other one, where we would have following setup. I'm just building it up. Okay, this is just slightly binding. Bummer. Bummer. You know, I figured if we had the differential raised one stud up instead of 3 studs, that would be better. But it isn't. It isn't. And in the situation that we have here, we cannot use the frame, even if we wanted to go to the old setup, we cannot use the frame in the same way that we did before. Or technically we can. That's what we're gonna do. That's one possibility that we can do. Yes. Okay. Imagine this. Okay. Imagine this. Oh. So, imagine this setup, which is more compact than it was before. We couldn't use this before, but we can use this now because things have changed. The geometry has changed quite significantly. So, these two are, of course, for the suspension. And here internally, nothing has changed, only that we have 2 studs less structure above the differential, giving us room, you know. Or do we have no 1 stud less, giving us more room. We are gonna be creative with this still. We can do something here. Yeah. For example, here on the bottom, we can use this to make it stiffer. Yep. We can use this to make it stiffer, for example, if we wanted to. And we can use this to continue the backbone if you want to. And since this can now go like this, it's even better. You know, it can go through the hole. And we have a lot more mounting options for everything. Yeah. And we should be a little more clever with what we have here as well. because we can, you know. One at a time. So here as well, we need, of course, the bottom. So we need 3 holes for mounting this. So this one, here one on each side, and yeah, that's it. So theoretically, if we do it like this, this is enough, because it's balanced, because it's mounted on both sides. So they basically won't be able to move, and they have a little bit scope to, you know, to move sideways. And then we have the differential on top, which is basically gonna move up. So it's not gonna move down. And since it's also gonna be mounted on both sides, we can have only this. This is everything we need. Race car spec at its finest. And then we have on the side, we have now 2 holes available for mounting brackets or whatever we need to mount the engine and stuff. Yeah. You know? Ah. And if we wanted to, we can have both gears here on the same side of the differential. No, we can't. Sorry. Scrap that. Scrap that. I suck. Just wanted to say something that's not true, but okay, doesn't matter. I mounted them both here just to show you the geometry and what's happening. So basically, what's happening here is that when this one is turning, no matter what it does, this guy here on either side is preventing it from dropping down like this. And on top of that, we're gonna have our L lift arm in front anyway. Here, you know, when we mount those, we have this in front anyway, and this prevents any twisting and any dislodging and, you know, any forces that would make this or any of those jump out of their sockets for any reason. So we have basically we have the cake, and we can eat it too, so to speak. What we have to do now is we have to engineer a bracket for this, and for this, and then we are golden. Then we have our new suspension bridge and gearbox casing, and, you know. So we need one more of these. And check something else. 3. Yeah. We might have a slight problem here. In this case, since it's a fiver, in this case we could use the old style here to get around this guy here, you know, because this is gonna be in the way otherwise. because if we use a 7 stud, see, it's gonna hit. Although I have to check if this is gonna be a problem, because you know the CV joint, and we have to limit the movement of this anyway. So let's check it out. How far can you go before it become a problem? This is the maximum it can go. Yeah, this is the maximum it can go, and I think the 7 studs should not be a problem here. Yeah. Yeah, it's not gonna hit. Yeah, we're fine. We are fine. So yeah, we need to now engineer this. Shouldn't be that difficult. I hope these are not famous last words. Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. So in here is our differential casing in the drive axles. How much more do we need? And at what level does it need to be? It's gonna simulate one of those on this side, just so I don't. I keep in mind that it's there. For now, I'm just gonna do this and see. Ooh, that's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. Perfect. So come on. I know you want to go out. Oh, thank you. far away is it? It has to be here. So 1. This has to be one stud longer. I'm gonna take this for now. There. Okay, I'm still gonna keep this assembled. Okay, that would be then our guy here. Okay, so this would be, yeah, this is exactly where it should be. So now that we have this out of the way, before we can do this, we have to do the bracket for this. And this, as I said, it's gonna be made out of this here. We need to see where it is. So it's basically 1, 2. This could still face, still be a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2. Am I seeing this correct? I don't know. Is it 1 or 2? Perfect. Perfect. And we said that it has to be 9 studs apart instead of 7. Yeah, 9 studs apart. So it has to be this. Okay. And it has to sit exactly here. It has to sit here. The pins here, we'll ignore them for now. Because the differential is here and we have to, well, we're not gonna turn them around completely because they are gonna be a problem in the hood. But I guess we can, since most of the structure is gonna be not by this, but by the brackets that we use here. We can do what? This, and then this, right? Yeah. Well, so we can do, for now, of course, we can do this, and this. We are finding our way, you know. Yes, it's not the strongest thing in the world at the moment. how would we mount this here? Of course. That's how I want it. Come on. What I'm doing here not now is just to so that we can mount what we have here. So this. That's the idea here. Oh, come on, really. Ah, of course. What I have to change is this guy here. Is now gonna be a 4-stud. Gonna be a 4-stud. And we can use this. Yes, we can use this. We can use this. Of course. Very good. Very good. I prefer this. I prefer this over the other one. So much nicer and cleaner. The only reason I'm mounting the gear here is to check clearance with the suspension arm. I just want to be sure that we have enough. Okay. So now we can transfer what we have here over to our setup here. Okay. Where did I fuck up? This is too low, isn't it? Some of my calculations were not right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and the 7th. Ah, okay. Yeah, I know. I know. This is not correct. Has to be half a stud, exactly half a stud higher. Okay, yeah. Okay. Come on. I'm not trying to do rocket science here. I'm just trying to mount it to check everything. Because it needs to be considered more carefully than what I'm gonna do here. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Look at this. Look at this. As if we made this for this. You can clearly see when it starts to run strange. Yeah. Here it's alright, and then yeah. Just a second. I'm sorry to move this. This allows a little bit more movement. Without binding, yeah. But I think that this doesn't allow enough movement for my taste. It's this thing, I think, not the hub. The hub is at its limits as well. Just compare. Wait, what? Okay. So from what I can tell from comparing the two setups, the steering angles are exactly the same. So we don't have any disadvantage in steering angles here than we have on the other suspension. Other than this is so much smaller and more compact than the other one. I have to compare them, of course. Oh yeah, this guy here needs to be one stud further up. That's one thing that I fucked up. So yeah, it's too low. It needs to be it needs to be much higher. Yeah, okay. Of course. But if we make it just one stud higher, it's gonna be fine. For now. I'm not gonna complicate. Because there. For testing purposes, it's alright. Oh yeah, now we have even more movement. This is perfect. Yeah. So the limiting factor here is not the top mount, but this. Yeah, okay. Okay, it's gonna be pretty good. And we have, of course, some nice camber gain. See, when the suspension moves up. That is perfect. Only thing we have to improve here, really, are the top strut mounts. But considering the height of this is as it should be. So the hood is gonna go over this, and it's gonna be fine. So that the design that Christian did is go without power bulge. So I think Flying Fish asked about the angle. Well, it's complicated. And of course, now that we are here, we need to do steering. Steering is also gonna be interesting. Let's put it this way. I have no idea how I'm gonna steer this. Same challenges as before remain, of course. But the steering rack here is not gonna be as far in front as it was before. So we'll see. We'll see. It's gonna be challenging because I don't even know how to attach anything that's gonna steer this to this. It's complicated. And we do want a steering rack that is approximately here. So it's gonna be somewhere here. I don't know how we're gonna brace these guys. We're gonna manage somehow, because if we place it one step further out, it's gonna be too far, I think. You know, I do want this to be as close to the wheel as possible. The tire is not gonna be a lot, so yeah, you know. This is gonna be, yeah, somewhere here. I don't know. To be determined. Somehow, yeah, I think we are going to use these here and something here that's gonna make us a bracket of sorts, you know, that we're gonna, I don't know, install this or something, I don't know, that's gonna enable us to put steering links on this. But yeah, that's the change for today. I think we changed a lot. That's an entirely different setup, and it's a lot smaller. If you compare, so if you compare this here to this, it's a lot more compact. And I think it's gonna be even better. So anyway, that's it for today. I am actually quite tired. Of course, over the weekend, a lot of thought is gonna go into this, so that when Monday approaches, we are probably gonna be looking at something that we can put some steering on. I think, of course, I'm gonna do the other side as well, and I will put the differential in, so that we are at the same stage as with the other one, and then we can move on more quickly, because now we have the entire outside of the car, um, and this is gonna be, it's gonna be very exciting. Yeah, where am I going to mount the steering? I don't know yet. I don't know. Um, I mean, I'm thinking. One of the possibilities here would be the following. So before we wrap this up, what if a wild suggestion? What if we put those two gears on the inside, and we move this bracket here, so this frame here, one stud to the back? What if we do? What if we do this? Oh yeah, I didn't have the other side. Okay, yeah. Um, mm, okay, so this guy here is no longer welcome. That's one of the consequences. But okay, that's something we can live with. So the differential here is gonna be, come on, I need to really clean the desk because I just cannot find the parts that I'm looking for. I want to find this. Okay, this guy. So this is the differential kind of. Imagine it's there, and we have this guy here, and then we put this here. So now the steering rack can be directly on this. There's nothing interfering. So the steering rack can be directly onto this. The gears are supported. That's it. No problem. You know? And I don't think this is going to be a problem here. You know, I'm feeling like Ace Ventura. Just want to say, come on! Why can't I have the nice things? Okay, I'm gonna do it like this. And it's not long enough, right? Needs to be here. This sucks. And where's the one that I had here before? Ah. I mean, obviously, what I'm doing now is gonna be extended to be supported on both sides, but that's besides the point. Yeah, obviously it needs to be. I'm just trying to do basic support here. Okay, yeah, just, you know, so that you can imagine. So we moved the frame here one stud further back, and now we can have the steering rack directly here on the back of this. See? Because the frame, we removed basically 2 studs. The frame is this, or one whole stud we removed. The frame is basically now the support for these 2 gears, and it's gonna be the support for the steering rack. that it's gonna sit, I don't know, somewhere. I have no idea where we're gonna put it. On this one, it's gonna be here. It's gonna be probably like this, with the steering links pointed upwards because of the camber gain, of course. But we have to, make something here that connects to this. That's gonna require some creativity. Anyway, yeah, that's it for today. Have a nice weekend. Thanks for watching and staying with me for so long. And I see you on Monday. And Discord is probably gonna be flooded with solutions here when I come up with them. And yeah. Damn it. Problem. Yeah. We'll see. Okay. Have fun. Have a nice weekend. And I see you on Monday.